Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm going to share with you guys the September market update. We're going to go over home prices in Hampton Roads, break it down by price range, and give you some really great strategies to win if you're negotiating as a buyer or a seller. And let's get started. Now, it's important to know that I'm going to break this down by price range. And even though I'm breaking down by price range, there's still a number of homes that really matter. And that number of homes that we're comparing you with is going to be what determines whether or not you guys should be expecting a lot of competition, a little competition, or barely any at all. So I'm going to break down by price range. We're going to look at what's in the seller's market that's extreme, normal, and what might be in the buyer's market. The important factor in how we measure, buyer or seller's market is looking at the number of active homes for sale versus what's sold over the course of the month. And this is what we call our month supply of inventory. If the month supply of inventory is under 3, it's a extreme seller's market. If it's between 3 and 5, call it a normal market. If it's 8 to 12, it's a normal buyer's market. And if it's over 12 months, that it would take all the homes to sell, then we can say it's a buyer's market because they have so many options. Now, the majority of homes are under 700K, and we're seeing an extreme seller's market here in Hampton Roads. High appreciation still if you have a home over 700K. Definitely take a look at, your city and how you compare to the rest of the homes in that city, because different price points in different cities are something you'll notice if you ever come to Hampton Roads and take a look at some homes around here with us. Now, looking at homes in the next category, I lumped these two together because they're both in the normal seller's market. Anything between 700 and 900K, we have about 3 to 5 months supply inventory and moderate appreciation. So you can probably expect some competition, some multiple offer situations. Usually 100% of offers, will come in at asking price or more. And you wouldn't be surprised to even sometimes hear in sellers markets that buyers are offering to offer closing cost assistance to get the deal done. Now, when it comes to an extreme sellers market, again, like here, price range of 900 to $1 million, we're now seeing what could be considered more extreme again. So for some reason, this little bit of a home between 900 and $1 million, buyers are still trying to scoop something up. If you were trying to price something like this, still go ahead and take an aggressive approach because even though inventory is low, you might have buyers who don't really want to spend too much time looking, because when we look at homes between that price point, only 53 are active listings and 120 of them sold between March and the end of August. So if you're a home trying to get sold before the end of the year, for example, you'd be competing with 53 other homes in an already super tight inventory market. So you might be competing with homes in other areas, in other cities, just to be at that price point. Now, 1 to 2 million is a little bit special. It moderated itself. We have a little bit more inventory there. Between 1 and 2 million, we have more homes for sale actually between 1 and 2 million than we do between 900 and 1 million. We have 154 homes for sale and 258 of them sold between March and the end of August. It would take about 3.6 months for all of them to sell. So very normal seller's market. Looking at over 2 million is when it becomes a buyer's market. And most people don't expect this. They actually expect, to see all across the board seller's market. And that's kind of what we're seeing, is that homes over the 2 million price point sometimes aren't being priced correctly because, number one, there's only 59 active homes for sale, that they're all competing for the same attention, the same buyers. But if you're, not really in a market where there's that many buyers versus sellers, it would take a long time to sell if you don't price yourself competitively, if you don't take a really aggressive approach to making sure you're the first home everybody tours. Because if you're the last home that, let's say, maybe double, triple the amount of homes for sale, we might have 3 buyers for every seller. The seller that ends up with the buyers that come to them at the very end of their list are less likely to get a very strong offer compared to the buyers who went to one home and thought, man, this is the one for me. I'm going to write an offer now because they were attracted to it due to the marketing or what their agent had to say about the property. Now I'm going to break it down by city. So this is where it's going to get a little bit long. I'm going to try not to take too much of your time, but let's start with Chesapeake. Now, in Chesapeake, homes under 100K, yes, they exist, are in a normal seller's market, and they are moderately appreciating. We see that homes in Chesapeake between 100K and 600K, though, are in an extreme seller's market. Anything between 600K and 800K is back to being a normal seller's market. So not as many multiple offer situations, not as many buyers scrambling to get in the door, but still activity is there. And then we have homes uniquely between 800 and 900K have a balanced flat pricing market, guys. So you might not have to put in multiple offers or expect multiple offers. It's a little bit easier for buyers to get in to the 800 to 900 price point range. And when it comes to homes between 900 and a million, goes up back to the seller's market between 1 and 2 million, back to the extreme seller's market in Chesapeake. Very unique in each city, so very much pay attention to those things. Ask your agent what they would recommend, and then when it comes to homes over 2 million, we don't have any right now on the report. Doesn't mean that there wouldn't be any that come on the market today. It could be your house. We could break a record together. But let's go now on to the next city. So Norfolk. Norfolk has no homes under 100K based off this report right now, but it could be one today. You never know. But when it comes to what we do have data for, everything from 100 to 500K in Norfolk is an extreme seller's market. So expect to have to compete if you are representing buyers, and expect multiple offers if you're a seller, because unless you're not pricing competitively, the market is going to come and check out your home and put in multiple offers. Most of Norfolk is in an extreme seller's market. The only part of Norfolk that's not an extreme seller's market is the 500 to 600K price point, where it's a little bit more normal, but still a strong to normal seller's market with 3.2 month supply inventory. You're right at the edge, because I told you 0 to 3 month supply inventory meant extreme. 0.2 above, not much of a difference. No homes above 2 million at this point, so we don't really have any data for that, but everything under 2 million, you can pretty much call it a seller's market. Extreme unless it's between 500 and 600K. Now Portsmouth, most of the homes we have on data are under 700K. All of them are strong. Seller's market, extremely strong. The only one that is not an extremely strong seller's market is the balanced market of homes between 400K and 500K. The majority of homes I've seen on that price point in Norfolk are either, not in Norfolk, in Portsmouth, they're either on the water or they could be multifamily properties. But it's definitely balanced with 5.5 month supply inventory for Portsmouth. Virginia Beach, also extremely strong seller's market. Everything from 100K to 2 million is an extreme seller's market. So less than 3 months to sell all of it. And once we get to the 2 million plus price point, that's where we have 6.8 months supply inventory. A very balanced market for your buyers. Should be easy, smooth sailing, maybe only one other competing offer. Might take homes a little bit more time to sell because buyers have options. They're walking around, they're comparing things. So sellers might have to be a little bit more patient to get the number that they want, just to allow those buyers to take a look. Also, again, if you're looking at more than $2 million, you might be looking at different areas and just comparing, amenities at that point, and be less fixed on a location or a commute. Now, let's talk about Suffolk. So, Suffolk is the largest county in Virginia. All the homes between 100K and 400K are in a extreme seller's market. They all actually have less than 2.5 months supply inventory. The highest competition you'll see in that price point of Suffolk, and this is kind of what the absorption numbers can tell you too, is that if you really study them, they can tell you kind of if it's more competitive to buy at that price point or not. Because we can see that Suffolk has 2.5 as extreme month supply of inventory for 250 to 300K price point. But if you were buying at less than 100K, the month supply of inventory is only 1.3. So it would be really hard to get, that number that you want for the home, compete, and deal with multiple offers when there's less options. And that's just what buyers are experiencing. Now, when we go to the 400 to 500K range for Suffolk, we have 3 months supply of inventory. It becomes a balanced market between 500 and 600K, and then gets more back to the sellers normal and just transitions between 600 to 700K to a normal market, and then back to an extreme seller's market between 700 and 800K, back to a balanced market between 800 and 900K. This is all for Suffolk. And then between 900 and $1 million, Suffolk has a 12-month supply of inventory of homes, which means they have a normal buyer's market in Suffolk. And nobody would guess this stuff. This is stuff we have to see in the data. We have to measure with numbers. So we know how to market and how to approach multiple offer situations or any offer situation. Because you never want to overpay and you never want to lose money and leave it on the table. So Suffolk, to wrap it up, has for the $1 to $2 million price point, 3.4 months supply of inventory, which is a normal seller's market, at the very top of their price point. You never know what to expect. I mean, you can look at price points and be like, what? I had no idea it was a buyer's market between that price range. So definitely look at the city, and then if you can, narrow down, the subdivision too, just so you don't leave any money on the table. Now, Smithfield and Franklin were grouped together in this data set that I received from Berkshire Hathaway. It has indicating from 100K to 350, a extreme seller's market. It balances out a little bit with a normal seller's market when we get to the 350 to 400K range, and then back to extreme seller's market from 400K to 600K. 600K to 700K is a normal seller's market. 700K to 900K is a balanced market. So it's anyone's game who wins, sellers or buyers. And then from 900 to $1 million, we have a extreme buyer's market in Smithfield and Franklin. 18 months supply of inventory. I mentioned in the beginning that 12 months supply of inventory or more is enough to be a buyer's market, extreme buyer's market. And Smithfield and Franklin has seen a lot of new construction. I could see that the inventory definitely is up there, and most of the homes that are newer tend to be higher price points. So that might be what's driving the price over there. But it definitely suggests taking a look at those neighborhoods and comparing what is going on in your neighborhood specifically. Now, when we go up to 1 to 2 million for Smithfield/Franklin area, we have 6 months supply of inventory. So we're right at the balanced market again. So flat pricing. Smithfield and Franklin for the $900 to $1 million price range, because it's an extreme buyer's market. High depreciation is possible, but it's never guaranteed for sure. It's really all about your marketing, and if you end up being the first or the last person on the list really is going to define your experience buying or selling real estate. I'm going to go over Hampton next. Hampton is right outside of Smithfield. If you're going over the James River, you'd be right in Hampton and Newport News in that area on the peninsula. So for Hampton, we have for the 0 to 500K price range, it's an extreme seller's market all the way. The highest competition we've seen so far is for Hampton. Anything under 100K has 0.8 months supply of inventory. So it's probably going to be gone within 2 or 3 days of it going on the market. At that price point, how it compares to Newport News is not drastically different, but Newport News has one of the strongest extremely seller's market for homes under 100K with only 0.3 months supply of inventory in Newport News. Now let's go back to Hampton. So when we go to Hampton and we look at homes above 500K to 600K, we have a normal seller's market, and then it gets pretty interesting between the 700 and 800K range. We end up with a normal buyer's market. So it's a moderate depreciation. So you might have to do some price reductions if you're looking between 700 and 800K, or you might get away with offering under asking, depending on the offer situation. Definitely ask the agent. Each home sale is different. And then when we go up to 800 to 900K, it becomes flat pricing. We have 6 months supply of inventory. And anything greater than that, we're seeing no data for the $900 to $1 million range, which could change anytime. And then once we get to $1 to $2 million, another extreme buyer's market. So far we've had an extreme buyer's market for anything between 1.1 and 2 million in Hampton, as well as 900 to 1 million in Smithfield and Franklin. So now we have two places where you could see a price reduction. There could be an indicator of something greater. So definitely, apply due diligence on your offers. Now let's go to Newport News. Newport News is another extreme seller's market city. Up until the 700K price point, it's all extreme seller's market. Between 700 and 800K, it becomes a balanced market with some flat pricing where we're not really seeing too many multiple offer situations. It slows down, the competition slows down, and the buyers have more time and leeway. It picks up a little bit from 800 to 900K, a little bit more extreme seller's market and scramble to get homes because, there's more competition with that for the buyers. And when we go up to the $1 to $2 million price point, again, we have some flat pricing and a balanced market of 7.2 months supply of inventory. Over 2 million, it becomes an extreme seller's market. Some people might say that's kind of unique considering Hampton and Newport News, the areas where we have homes that are kind of that price point, tend to be similar in maybe terms of like access to certain things like water access for sure. And then we're seeing that homes in Newport News above 2 million and even really technically above 1 million are either a balanced market or extreme seller's market, whereas Hampton has a balanced market at their top price point of 800 to 900K, and then it leans and jumps towards a buyer's market. So it's kind of the opposite effect. And I think that's kind of cool because most people think Hampton and Newport News are very similar indeed. If they're not from the area, it's easy to not realize the difference until you're here. Now, York County and Poquoson were lumped together in this data set. Poquoson has a smaller population, so for the purpose of the data here, they chose to lump them together. We don't have any data for homes under 100K. Doesn't mean that couldn't change. We definitely have condos and things like that pop up all the time that are kind of on that skirt of 100K possibility. And anything from 100 to 150K in Poquoson or York County is considered a balanced market home with 5 to 8 months supply of inventory. There might not be a big of a rush to go see a home when you know the month supply of inventory is pretty high. You might take your time, and you might go look at homes at other price points just because those will probably go faster. So that's why it's really important to understand these numbers. I know it's a lot to take in, but we're almost at the very end. We just have 2 more we're going to go over, which is Williamsburg, Jean City County as one section, and then Gloucester, and then we'll be done with this. And you can proceed with the next section I have to share with you. So York County between 150 and 700K is an extreme seller's market. We're seeing high appreciation, multiple offers, and sellers are getting above asking or just asking, depending on how they price and approach the marketing situation. Once we get over 700 to 900, even the up to 1 million, it becomes moderate and a little bit more balanced. The homes might sit on the market a little bit longer. And then something crazy that we don't usually see on here is a whopping 45 months supply of inventory in York County and Poquoson. Now, that is the highest number on this table for September. Big reason is new construction and inventory. It's going to take a long time for it to sell, and they're still making it. I'm happy to show you any new construction homes in the area as well. But 45 months supply inventory, extreme buyer's market. If you're looking for anything between 1 and 2 million in your county, you're going to have to market it way differently because there's so much buyers will have to compare. So it's super key to really pay attention to pricing, strategy, how it presents, how it shows, all the feedback you get, and communicate that to really maximize the value, because it's so easy to leave some money on the table as a seller when that's the case. Now, Williamsburg, much more moderate at those extreme high price points. But let's start from the beginning. So at anything between 0 to 100K in Williamsburg is in a normal buyer's market. It's had moderate depreciation, and we have 12 months supply of inventory. Williamsburg actually has the highest month supply of inventory of any area under 100K, and most people would never ever expect that, ever. I'm actually a little bit surprised, and it actually has the opposite end too. So there's a little bit moderate depreciation and buyer's market activity under 100K, and then over 2 million, it's the same number, 12 months supply of inventory over 2 million. Everything in between is a extreme seller's market. So from 150 all the way to 700K, we're seeing extreme high appreciation, multiple offers. There's a little bit of a break between 700 and 800K. It becomes normal, about 3.2 months supply of inventory. Most of the homes in Williamsburg, people would say, in different areas, range to be a little bit higher than all the other cities. So I'm really not surprised that they have 3.5, almost 3.5 months supply of inventory. And then it becomes extreme seller's market again between the $800 to $2 million price point as the number of homes available at that price increases. It's pretty competitive, especially between 350 and 600K in Williamsburg, because for those price points between 350 and 600K, you only have 1.3 months supply of inventory, and then 1.5 months supply of inventory as you go up to the 400K range, and then 500 to 600K range is 1.2 months supply of inventory. So if you see a home for sale at those price points, you need to go see that home right away and probably put an offer in the same day if you really want it, because there's probably a chance you might not get to go see it again because there's so few homes available at that price point. Between 800 and 2 million, extreme seller's market again. We have about 1.7 to 2.9 months supply of inventory. It steadily increases all the way up until you get to the 2 million plus price point where we have, like I said before, moderate depreciation because there's so many options. Sellers are being forced to kind of decline, increasing the price and really think about how they can get buyers to come to their home first and put an offer there instead of something else. Now, Gloucester has less than they have less. They have no record here of anything under 100K. Not to say that there wasn't anything that could have sold off market or privately, but the data starts for Gloucester at 100K to 150K. We have moderate appreciation, so a normal seller's market, 4-month supply of inventory. It's a pretty nice number, nice supply. So buyers will have a lot of options there. Now, when we go up to the 150 to 500K range, it becomes very competitive, with the most competitive being between 400 and 500K, especially for waterfront homes that I think are really doing very well after repair value wise. For Gloucester, it's been pretty surprising to see how beautiful and extensive people are updating homes nowadays, especially on the water there on York River. But 400 to 500K, we're seeing the most competition there. If you're looking for a home between 500 and 600K in Gloucester, a ton of options came on the market. So you have 4.5 months supply inventory for the 500 to 600K range. So you can take your time. Once we go over 600K to 700K, a huge jump, almost double the inventory. We have 9.4 months supply of inventory. So some people are having to do price reductions at that price point. Then 800 to 900K, even more homes, 12 months supply of inventory. So there might be some more talks about how to reduce and attract buyers or reduce negative feedback, basically, and just be more competitive. You never have to really lower the price if you can communicate the value efficiently. Now, 800 to 900K in Gloucester is where we have the extreme buyer's market. That's where people are probably going to have more options as a buyer. And if you're a seller, you might have to wait a good bit because there's 15 months supply of inventory that at that price point. And then 900 to 1 million, 12 months supply of inventory, moderate depreciation. You won't see as many price reductions or as drastic price reductions to get people in the door at that price point. And then between 1 and 2 million in Gloucester, we have 4 months supply of inventory, and it becomes a normal seller's market. Wouldn't you know? I mean, it's pretty wild how the market changes, but inventory, neighborhood, buyer demand, number of homes for sale, all the stuff is really what's going to help you stand out and teach you how to really adapt and approach the market. Because if you don't approach the market in a way that's tactical, how can we ever really reach our goal? And sometimes we actually end up missing our goal if we don't know where to look and how to discover and how to take it all in, because there's so many homes for sale. It can get so overwhelming. So now you might also just encounter life, and you might end up thinking, hey, I need a backup strategy, or hey, you know what? I'm ready for a change. I don't want to deal with this anymore. I'm tired of being a landlord. If you're looking to change how you approach life, maybe decide on replacing your income, retiring early, buying more homes, exploring short-term rentals, mid-term rentals, anything real estate related, I'm happy to help you. So please, if you have any questions about the market, contact me. I'm happy to be a good resource for you. Berkshire Hathaway has agents out of state and everywhere across the world, abroad. We are a huge market dominant company here, and we have full services. We have things that even allow for you to have an easy move free of service, feel free to contact me. I'm happy to tell you about that. If you're curious about some of our concierge services and our exclusive stuff to kind of help home buying and selling so much easier and stress-free, please call me today. And thank you for watching.